Hey everybody! Thanks for coming in again. Another Friday. Every day feels like Friday now. Friday or Monday, take your pick. I'm here with Dan Rojas. He's going back to back on these lives. Thank you so much. And yes, today's about social media, but about more than that, just different things you could use during these different critical, crazy times. And Dan, I know you've been in this business for a long time doing social media. Now I know it's on to the next level of social media stuff going on. So tell me, what do you use? Dan's out of Florida, by the way. Dan.
So what's up, folks? My name is Dan Rojas, and I just got off the podcast, off the Takeover podcast. We're doing back to back today because there were some changes in the lending industry that were announced yesterday that are already in effect, and some more to come in the next few weeks. We'll bring that up halfway through, and we'll kind of spot check it because today's social media day, right? So my background is in social media marketing. I went to UCF for it, and that's kind of where I learned a lot of the tricks of the trade. But I also learned it because we started, a few friends of mine started a few different companies in college that kind of made us lean towards social media, obviously. And it's obviously, as a real estate professional, these are tantamount times. I got to tell you, I've run into some people and I'm like, "Oh, what's your Facebook?" And they're like, "I don't have one." And I'm like, how much business you got? So that's kind of like a little background on that, but let's just dive right in. So tips and tricks that you guys can be doing right now. This actually just worked for me not too long ago. Is there's a place on Facebook called Facebook Marketplace. And if you guys go in there, we can actually list a home that you guys have already for sale on there with your contact info, right? And we just started doing this not too long ago, simply because I started seeing that there's an actual specific spot Facebook has created for homes for sale and for rent. Facebook is getting ready to announce some major overhauls, right? And they haven't really pushed it out there too much, but they will, for a lot of different industries, including real estate. So they make it real simple for you guys, and we can actually go through. I'm gonna see if I can share the screen and show you guys how to do it. Let me see, application or window. Let's do a Chrome tab. Let's do. Where is it? Here it is. Okay. So let's go ahead in here and I'll show you guys where to do it. Nick Krem was live yesterday as well. All right. So you guys can see the screen, right?
Let me see. Put it up. Yeah, you should be.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So you guys can see my Facebook. I can see it right now. So right here, obviously this is my main page. If I'm using my computer, it looks like this. If I'm on my phone, it looks a little bit different, but this is a great tactic. So right over here on the left-hand side, you're going to see this little button that says Marketplace, right? So if you click on that, it's going to take you to this marketplace page. And right here, you'll see all the stuff that's, because I search for a lot of Jeeps and a lot of RV trailers, but you'll see on the left-hand side, it'll say sell something, right? And from here, all you got to do is click on that. And then we'll use my latest listing, so that way we can show you how it's done. It's already pending, but I'm going to tell you how it went pending and why. So if you'll see right here, they automatically have it already set up for you where it says homes for sale or rent, or an item for sale or a vehicle for sale. By the way, I encourage you guys to look at this and use this for all other things. If you guys are planning on having a garage sale, take the higher price ticket items and put them on here. You'll sell it faster, I promise. But let's go ahead and click on homes for sale or for rent, and it's just going to walk you through the whole process. And so I'm going to pick some home pictures. I don't even know if I have the pictures. Yeah, I do, right here. All right, so let's just go ahead and select a few of these photos. Obviously, I want to make sure it's like the best shots, and you can select a few different ones, and it's pretty neat on how it allows you to do it. So here, let's take this one. This one, well, no, let's not do that one. Let's do the inside. This one looks great. This is another great one. And let's go ahead and get an aerial shot. So let's go ahead and do that. So actually, I just unclicked everything, but let me recheck them real quick. And then you're just going to go ahead and click open. Now, the really neat part is that it allows you to do up to 50 photos. So if you've got 50 photos on your MLS, or you've got 50 photos ready to go, make sure that you guys are utilizing this the best. And also, one of the key things is making sure that the order of them is correct, because you want to make sure that you're appealing to an audience. So if, like, for this example, I want people to see that this property is on the water, right? It's got a great pond view, and it's really going to attract people. And then the next one is the front shot. I actually don't want that as my front shot. I want the pool, and then I want the living room as my third shot. The rest don't matter. You guys have to realize that in a day of instant gratification like the times are now, people, you're going to lose their attention if you don't hit them with the good stuff up front, because they're just scrolling through, they're just browsing. Some people are actually seriously browsing from this, and some people are just browsing just to browse. And we'll go over how to follow up with these people and how to get them moving and moving forward on a few different tactics. But so that's how you set it up. Over here, it's going to ask you home for sale or for rent. So for sale, property type, it's a house. Bedrooms, this is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. And then the price, we had it at $290, 123. So property address, I would stick it right in here. Elmstone Circle, Orlando, Florida. And then from there, you'll see it'll auto-populate some options. So I'm going to go ahead and let it do it. I'm letting Facebook's algorithm do the difficult lifting, right? So for property description, this is after you've already put the home on the MLS. So real simple would be to go into your MLS, whichever one you have, and just copy the description from your MLS. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull it up real quick. You guys can see it as it goes, right? Oh, it's still sharing Facebook. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm doing is, hold on one second because I'm just copying.
I think it's you're on another tab, right?
Yep, I am. I'm just stealing it real quick, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
So this is a description I just copied from my MLS, and I'll adjust this so there's no tab right here. And then square feet, I'm just going to put this. This is just a sample. I think it's a little bit higher than that. And then it'll give you some options like laundry, in-unit laundry, laundry in building, laundry available. You know, obviously for the different types, parking is going to be garage parking, air conditioning, central AC, heating type, central AC. And then we're going to go ahead and click on next. So the cool part is that once you guys go to actually publish this, what it's going to do is it's going to automatically say, I'm going to publish this in the marketplace, right? You can also automatically set this up and check this to your profile. You can do this to Orlando Garage Sale. You can do this to Conway Swap Shop and Eat. You can do it in a number of places. So what you're going to see here is these are groups that I'm already a part of, right? If you're not in a group, you should go and find it. Typically, Facebook would actually give me some suggestions, but I think that might be the mobile version only, where it actually gives you suggestions of groups in the area to go ahead and join. So like, for example, I live in Conway, but if this home's not in Conway, so I would find the community group that's in. As long as the rules say that I can post listings in there, I'm going to post it in that community group. And the reason why is twofold. One, people in those areas tend to want their friends to live in those areas with them. So what they're going to want is they're going to be like, oh, one of my neighbor's houses is up for sale. Cool. Let me hit up all my friends and send this to them and see if they're interested in moving into this house. It also makes you the community point of authority on there, stating that, okay, I'm the one selling this house. So if anybody was interested in selling their house, they might just hit you up and say, hey, you know, curious, what's my house worth? And that just starts a conversation. So there's a lot of ways to generate business from this. Now, I'm not gonna actually make this one live because I already have one, but I will show you the responses from it. Oh, discard. I will show you the amount of responses I got from this real quick on this. So if you once you start getting messages from this, by the way, it's going to pop up in here like the following. So it'll look up like this: the person's name followed by Orlando Pool Home with Water View, because that was the title that I had set. And you'll see I have a ton of responses on this one particular home. I've got another one right here. And another one, a few of these more right here. So on your phone, it'll actually show up as one actual message, and it'll say all the messages that you've received for this one. Let's see if I can actually find it right here and see if it'll show you guys what it looks like, because of the amount of traction I got on it. While I'm finding this, I'll tell you guys that this was unreal. The amount of, oh, here they are. Perfect. So here, right here, when you go to the selling side of things, you can actually track and see all of these. So I actually received more messages than this, but it only populated these. Now, one of these messages that's not in here was actually from someone I knew that was already looking in the market and already pre-approved. I didn't know this person was looking. We haven't talked in quite some time, but I've known her for about 6-7 years. And she reached out to me and was like, oh my God, this home is beautiful, but I'm not looking to buy for a few months. And I said, well, what's the reason why? Our jobs as professionals is to find out, be detectives, right? Find out why people are not wanting to buy right now. It might be a financial situation. It might be a credit situation. We'll come to find out that it was kind of like a twofold. It was she has a current lease that runs for a few months, and the other was that, financially she's only got X amount to work with right now. Funny enough and oddly enough, it was exactly what was needed for this home. And the cool part about her lease going out for a few months is that what happens when we close in March, right? Our first actual payment isn't until June. So it actually skips April, right? So this actually set it up to where I basically was able to show her that, hey, this is actually the time we need to be buying. If you wait any longer, you chance being homeless. So oddly enough, she's buying this house. So I've got the selling side and the buying side just from using this tactic. So while you guys are on lockdown, especially in New York, I think this is something that you guys can be utilizing regardless. Now, Gary, let's talk about the elephant in the room when it comes to what's happening in New York. You guys being on lockdown and not having the luxury that us Florida agents have as being deemed essential business, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
So tell us the story on that of what's going on in real estate. What are you allowed to do? What are you not allowed to do? Because I know it's kind of like all over the place for you guys.
All over the place. They're saying that we're not allowed to prospect for new business, do any cold calling for new business until about September, until about September 7th. Where they get that date from, I'm not sure, but I know you have different ways of your reaching out to business in your sphere. What is that?
So, all right. So right now you guys are on what's called cold calling lockdown. So I as I was saying earlier, I find the loopholes in these kinds of situations. I'm very black and white, but cold calling is such a broad spectrum of calling it, right? Because cold calling is technically defined by, olden times where, you would call a landline and you literally cold call somebody, right? Nowadays, that could be misconstrued in so many different ways. So, obviously if somebody you don't know them and you're just going down a list, kind of be mindful of calling them on your cell phone. But now with social media in place, you guys should be really emphasizing your sphere of influence and expanding that. So if you guys are on Facebook, you'll see that on a chat on the right-hand side on your phone with Facebook Messenger, you can actually video chat people and call people. Yeah. It's pretty simple to do, to be quite honest, and it goes right to their phone like a normal phone call. I use it on a regular basis, on a daily basis now. I use it to keep in contact with some agents. We have a good support group down here, so it's even agents and other brokerages. But that's a great technique to go ahead and reach out to your sphere without cold calling. They said that, you need to define cold calling right now in New York as treated like it's on the do not call list. Well, I know that you had mentioned something about for sale by owners, and I'm actually going to teach you guys a good trick on that. So with technology and social media. So you guys need to realize for sale by owners are putting their info out there to be called. That is not a do not call. If you're supposed to be treating cold calling like do not call, for sale by owners are not included. I'm not an attorney by any means, as I was saying earlier. And as my broker says, I never played one on TV. But I will tell you right now, I would beg somebody to go ahead and in a court of law prove to a judge that calling a for sale by owner was cold calling by any means. Because they have to sell their house. How are they going to sell their house if no one's calling them?
Yeah, exactly.
So
out there, right?
And what is our job? Our job is to help and assist people sell and buy homes, right? Or properties. And I beg anyone to prove that is cold calling by definition, calling a for sale by owner and seeing if their house is still on the market and getting some info about it for a buyer that you have in hand in pocket, right? So I'm going to show you guys a technique real quick. I'm going to open it up and I'm going to. Oh, actually, you know what? I don't know if I can do it. Let me see. I'm going to log out of my Zillow account real quick and I'll log back in as a client. Yeah. So. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and share the screen now that my info is not on there. I didn't want people to see the back end of my stuff. So Zillow right here, share the screen. All right. So you guys should be seeing my Zillow page. So right here on here as an agent, you can go ahead and do, let me make sure I've got the right one, right account. I'm pretty sure I know which one it is. I'm going to check my phone real quick. For this, because I already have some stuff set up, so I want to show you guys what it looks like. Oh, I guess I don't have it on my phone. Let me see which email address I'm using for this. Zillow.
So are you using this tactic on a regular basis?
Yes. So, all right, here it is. So, see if it logs me in. All right, perfect. So I'm logged into what I call my my dummy account, my consumer account, right? So there's times where I'm looking for homes for a client on the market, and none that are on the MLS or available to see fit their criteria. Well, my job doesn't stop there. Inventory does not stop there. I have the capability of looking up for sale by owners on Zillow. But this is twofold. So that's one way to assist your buyers. If the home that they're looking for, the property they're looking for isn't there, you can go ahead on Zillow and look up for sale by owners. Now, I'm going to teach you guys a quick trick to go ahead and fill your pipeline with potential listings. And this is something that you could be doing right now without fear. Don't worry about it and don't stress. Calling expireds and canceled and withdrawals right now, that could be misconstrued as cold calling right now, because technically they're not asking anyone to call. So I would advise everyone be very wary and very cautious of calling those right now. Getting Red X and all this stuff. I know people are saying that, but as an agent, you can simply do this. So let's say I'm looking to buy a home, right? So right here, it'll automatically open up, Zillow and everything in my area. So right here, it has the boundary of what I already have preset. So if you guys will look here for sale, or if you click on this for sale, it'll bring up a little tab and it says for sale, for rent, and sold. Mm-hmm. If you actually check this down, there's a lot of options on here. So as a consumer, here's the coolest thing that you can do right now. That's it. For sale, by owner, or foreclosed properties. And so this is a great way to go ahead and fill your pipeline with what you're looking for. Look at this. You have all these properties, and some of them look really good. Like this photo is actually not bad for this one. This one's a little off-centered. But then you've got ones like this where it's like they show you the bedroom first versus like, the kitchen. And then you've got this one that's another for sale by owner. Beautiful pictures. So here's the coolest part about this. Let's pick this one just because this is a nice and hefty priced one. So these guys were obviously professional enough to go ahead and get some professional photos done, right? They did a really good job on this. But for some reason, it hasn't sold. And, it's because it's been one day on the market. 539 views, 22 saves. You can already see the info for them. Now, if I were an agent and I wanted to prospect this, right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to scroll straight to the bottom. I mean, this guy's severely overpriced just based on estimates, and I haven't even done a comp yet, right? So this guy's not going to be selling for quite some time. He actually listed it at $929 and already dropped to $10K. I guess he thought that was a good tactic for getting attention right off the bat. Now, if you keep scrolling down all the way to the bottom, here's what you're going to end up finding. First, you're going to find the first 3 Zillow Premier agents that have bought that zip code. Then guess what? The last one. That's the property owner's actual phone number. So instead of using IMAP or whatever you guys use for tax services or Remind to try and dig up somebody's cell phone number or pay for a skip trace, you literally have the owner's number right there. Give that guy a call. Sometimes they even have the name of it. Sometimes they have like John Smith. And you can literally call and be like, hey, John Smith, it's Dan Rojas with eXp Realty. How you doing today? Hey, man, I'm not calling you to list your home right now. I'm just calling to get a few information. And here's the route that I take when it comes to it. I just call them real quick and I ask them 2 questions. Hey, first and foremost, I saw that you have this listed. Is it still for sale? And they're going to tell you, yeah, obviously. Okay, cool. I always look for houses off market. I say that right then and there because this house is not on the market. Zillow is not the market. So I always tell them right there, hey, I'm always looking for homes off the market for my clients because, inventory is kind of limited right now. Then I ask them this. I'm like, hey, out of curiosity, are you paying a buyer's agent commission? And the reason I ask that is because it opens up dialogue. So they always say one of 2 things. It's either a yes or a no. If it's yes, then I go ahead and say, hey, that's awesome. Would you mind me asking what that commission amount looks like? So most of the time, it's actually 2.5% to 3%, to be quite honest. There's rare occasions where I've called and they're like, it's 2%. But here's what happens if they say no. I'm like, first and foremost, I like to ask them, I'm like, just out of curiosity, why is that the case? And then I start asking them things like, have you ever sold a home before? When was the last time you sold a home? Did you sell, 20 in the last year? Blah, blah, blah. To kind of open up their eyes so that they understand that it's not as easy as it seems. Zillow and all these other platforms have kind of convinced people it's really easy to sell your home.
Yeah.
Well, my smarter clients, my clients who are really intelligent, they'll still send me links from Zillow, but they already know that Zillow is basically just good for looking at pictures. They've already said it to me. My clients have already understood the fact that Zillow's estimates are garbage. I mean, let's take a look at what the former CEO of Zillow did. He bought his house under what the Zillow estimate was by a mile, and then when he put it on the market, he put it $7 million above the Zestimate, right? So a guy who doesn't even believe in his own product. But what you're doing is you're getting these people to understand that there's a lot more intricacies that we go through. This is, people think that we just like, with today's day and age, we're like, oh, we just put a home on the MLS and it sells. Nah, there's a lot that goes behind what we do. And you as agents, you already know what goes behind this. So you guys have to open up their eyes and ask them questions like, what title company do you plan on using? Yeah. Oh, you don't have one? Oh, here, I've got this one. If you guys are in an attorney state, hey, what attorney are you using for closing? To handle the money and the finances and the transaction and the documents. Oh, you don't have one? I've got a reputable one. Just recommend them one. If you start adding value to them right off the bat, they're going to start leaning on you. I've had people call me back 2-3 weeks afterwards. Hey, I remember you saying you had a title company. I'm thinking I'm going to need one. What other services do you have? And I was like, oh, I had this 3D touring service. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I've got this 3D touring service. It takes me about 20 minutes to set it up in your home. About an hour afterwards, it should be ready to go. And they're like, wait, what do you mean? And I'm like, yep. So you guys just basically have to add value and open this up. Now, as an agent, what I would do is I would do this. I would create an account just like this, and I would go ahead and I would set up the price point I want to be in, the beds and bath, the home type, and any other filter. I would set this all up of the market and niche that I want to be in. And then guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and save this search right afterwards, because here's what happens. And I'm going to show you. You see this little 11? I already have 2 FSBO searches right here. So then what I do is I have the Zillow app open on my phone, and I have it logged into this consumer account. And here's the coolest part is that every day Zillow is going to send me new listings to go after. And I don't have to do anything. And I didn't pay for it. This is, people say Zillow hacking, and they want to charge you hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars to teach you classes on how to gain more listings for free and get Zillow to send you leads. Well, this is what they're talking about, and I'm giving it to you for free. And the reason is because you guys should be getting these tools for free. I find it ridiculous that some people are teaching you how to do this stuff, and I think that we should just be better people and better to our industry fellow colleagues and helping each other out.
Especially now, right?
Especially now. That call I just got off that you were mentioning, that podcast call, it was a broker associate from a completely different brokerage, not with EXP. And, I've known her for a decade now. And honestly, these are not times, and even before this coronavirus situation, even then was not the time to be holding back secrets from each other. This is the stuff that we should just be teaching each other on a regular basis because it helps us out as a whole. Mm-hmm. Yep. So today, Zillow has already emailed me this morning 3 times with all of these new properties, right? They're all new, price cut, new. It's mind blowing to me that people aren't doing this. This is another route for leads for you guys. If you guys are on a budget, if you guys right now don't have an income because you're in New York and you can't do real estate, you need to be doing this right away.
Definitely.
Right away. So on that note, let's go ahead and talk about 3D touring, because I know I mentioned it because
after they get this listing, right? After they get this listing and mention 3D touring, what do they do with that 3D touring?
So here's the cool part. So I use this service, and it's called Asteroom, right? So before, Matterport was the only option when it came to 3D touring that made camera. Mm-hmm. With a huge clunky camera that cost you a few $1,000s, and the service itself cost you a few $1,000s. So this guy, Eric Tsai, he's an ex-Facebook marketing employee, right? So he used to work in the marketing department for Facebook. He went ahead and separated himself, and he said, hey, I really think that I can do this. So he went and created Asteroom by himself. He went and set this whole process up, and he made it affordable, because what's the problem with Matterport besides the clunky camera? Well, it was
price is killing you.
Yeah, it was basically left up for the luxury people and the super luxury properties. Well, up in New York, your medium price point is what, Gary, up there?
$550.
Okay, my median price point down here is like 325. So for you guys, it's like the super luxurious like would be able to do it. But this is actually a very affordable thing, and the coolest part is that it's on your time and on your schedule. So you don't have to wait for somebody else to come up or another photographer to be like, hey, I'll charge you $250, $350, $400, $500 to add this on, right? No, these guys figured it out. It's just I'm going to be quite frank. It's $60 to get this little device, and I'll show it to you in a second. But with the $60 that you're paying for, you get 3 free months, because what they do is they charge you $20 a month to have 5 listings on there. And this is kind of like some options that you have. You'll see right here on the screen, you can actually get a 3D dollhouse. That's an extra $10 for you per house once you've already set it up. But it looks super neat, especially when you're putting that on social media. You put that out on Facebook, and people are going to be clicking on that all day, especially right now. Social media and online engagement has gone up 25 to 30% in the last 3 weeks. And I can tell you right now that my lead generation has gone through the roof. I've had more conversations with people. You guys saw how many were just open on that Facebook marketplace page where all those conversations started. Guess what? Every single one of those is now a new lead. Every single one. 16 new leads in a matter of a week from one Facebook marketplace post that I didn't pay for. And at least 2 of those are going to buy with me this year, if not more. And then the rest of them are all going to buy within 2 years. And it's just a conversation starter. These are all conversation starters. The hard work comes afterwards. I'm trying to teach you guys how to simplify your life when it comes to lead generation and being the best agent for your clients, right? Because this 3D service is really more so for your seller. This is a great way to put their product out there, especially in these times. You guys cannot be moving out right now, and we're in shelter in place. Although deemed essential, I have a lot of buyers that just backed out that were just like, we're just going to wait till we can come visit another time. Relocations. Well, this is a great way to do it. And so I'm going to show you guys a little bit how it works. So what I do with my relocation clients is I'm already FaceTiming them. I don't have an iPhone, so I call it FaceTime. But what I'm really doing is I'm friends with them on Facebook, because a lot of these leads come from Facebook, and I'm video chatting them from the property that they want to see. So I'll send them like the property list just like normal from MLS. And so I've got somebody from Mississippi right now. I've got somebody from Texas, and I've got another one from Maryland right now. And so they're all out of the state. They don't even want to fly in right now. So what I do is I just email them like normal. I've already got their criteria. I've already done the buyer's consult. I'm sending them emails with properties. Then what I go and do is I actually take it a step further than most agents. So what I do is I'll go ahead and Facebook video chat them so they can see it. And then I also go ahead and I send them a video of the property, and I'll show you what it looks like. And I send it to them in an email. And let me see if I can switch tabs real quick so I can kind of find it for you guys. Stop screen. Let's share an application window real quick, or a Chrome tab. Gmail, this one. All right. So I sent this to my client the other day, and it was an email. And let's see if I can find it real quick. This was after we did the FaceTime. So I sent her an email real quick, and it says, Ask Room Viewer. And so what I did was I went to the property itself. Oh, wait, can you guys see it, or did it stop from that screen?
I see your email.
Okay, cool. We're going to have to switch that real quick. Let me switch it. And Chrome. Here we go. Oh, I keep clicking the wrong one. Let me see if I can. What is this one called? Astroom Preview Viewer.
3D before all this craziness?
Yeah, so I was doing 3D before all of this. It just happens to be that now it's super vital. All right, so this was the property that she really liked. And as you'll see here, it's just basically a 3D mapping and rendering of the property on the inside. Now, the device that I use is it's like a little device that just turns the camera around in a panoramic view. Now, everyone always asks, what camera do you use? Well, Astroom is built to show you, it's built to be used with your phone. Today's day and age, most phones shoot in almost 4K, if not 4K quality. This was shot from my Samsung S10 Plus, which is a 4K quality phone. And it's as you can see, is great quality all the way around. And then the cool part is you just are able to connect the dots between rooms. And so if they want to go to a different room, all they got to do is click on it. and boom, they're in that room. So they're like, okay, well, I can see this guest bathroom. That's pretty neat. And they can see what kind of flooring there is, what kind of tile is in the shower, what kind of countertops. And the cool part is you just basically are just walking the property itself. And I can't tell you the amount of times we wrote an offer the other day, this client and I. We wrote an offer because of the fact that she was just like, oh my God, this home was exactly what I was hoping for. And all she had to do was just sit at home while I went into the work. This requires nothing but your phone, a tripod, and the device that Astroom uses. And look how crystal clear this comes out. It is unreal, the capabilities now with technology nowadays.
That's good stuff.
This service is only about $20 a month, like I said, for up to 5 listings. And the cool part is this: when you're showing it to buyers, here's what I did, because obviously I'm showing her like 5 or more, and I've got some listings. So what I do is I'll go into this property. It takes me about 20 minutes for about 2,000 square feet. Takes me another 20 minutes afterwards to connect the dots and connect the rooms. Very easy to use app on your phone. I actually sat in the car after I did this. After I mapped it, I sat in the car and finished it up and connected all the rooms in the car and sent it to her with a video. And whenever we found a home that she didn't like, I basically just deleted it off the app because I want to free up more space to be able to show, other properties. So 5 is all you really need, because you're not gonna really hold on to these. Once they're like, I don't like that one, delete that home, and then that way it gives you frees you up another space. But you can see how vitally how important this can be right now in a time like this. Let me pull up something real quick to kind of show you guys how to get this. So if you guys open this up, this is actually a little contraption on this. So for some phones, what it does is it actually has this little attachment to it to kind of give it that fisheye effect. So that'll come with it. This little device is the one that I'm talking about. So this your phone just sits in there and it rotates real quick. And that's all it is. It's your phone. I put it on a tripod. It comes with a small little stand, but I like it to be almost at like normal.
A little higher, right?
Yeah, normal human height. So I have a tripod for it. And he upped the price. I guess it's no longer $60. Well, good thing for you guys is when it says the starter package for only $89, click on buy on Astroom, and then when you guys go in there, punch in the there should be a way for a coupon code. If you guys punch in Rojas 10.
What's the code?
Rojas 10. It'll actually take $10 off the package right there. I didn't realize he went up. I guess he's including one 3D dollhouse for 40 panoramas. So that's even better, actually. That's pretty cheap. So I didn't realize he had done that. I thought he had upped the price. So this is really neat because here's what it does. So you're getting the fisheye lens, you're getting the Bluetooth rotator, and then they're shipping it to you. So you get 5 active tours, but you can get up to one 3D dollhouse with up to 40 panoramic views. So if you have a massive house that's like 4,000 square foot, that's about 40 panoramic views. So you can get one free dollhouse and one free touch up. They're gonna fine tune it. They're gonna go through. Make sure you buy it through Astroom, not Amazon, because that code only works on Astroom. I don't know how you would put on a coupon code on Google, but Rojas 10 is the code for that, and it gives you $10 off that package, which is pretty neat.
Rojas 10. All right, I'll make sure I put in the thing.
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of my gist of things right now with you guys up there, and down here is the same thing. There's a lot of people that are wanting to leave their house, and there's some sellers that don't want people in their house. Like this 3D mapping situation is revolutionizing everything. The future is going to basically be virtual. They came out with those virtual goggles a few years ago, and everyone kind of laughed. But now people are playing Star Wars games and zombie games, and Facebook is actually coming out with what's called Facebook Horizon. So I don't know if you've seen this before, Gary, but the movie Ready Player One, have you seen it?
Yeah.
Okay. So Facebook is creating what the Oasis was in there. They're creating it in real life. Yeah. So they're calling it Facebook Horizon, and it is going to be the future of gaming. It is going to be the future of a few different things. And so expect the world to go more virtual than you have seen in quite some time. And in all honesty, I think that that's a huge digital change. Obviously, you're at home. I'm at home. I've got my co-host back here, and he's trying to get all comfortable. But that's the future of it. I mean, real estate agents, we always have this saying, right? And the saying is that if you're in the office and you're not making calls or you don't have an appointment, like, what are you really doing in the office? Yeah. And because the money's not made in the office, you know, sometimes clients might walk in, but that's kind of like the olden day and age, right? You'd meet, you know, you'd go look up local offices for real estate, and you'd walk into one, you'd interview an agent, you'd go to the next one. Now, all that stuff is now digital. You can see everybody's reviews and their ratings online. Then you call up an agent or someone that you know, and from there you could do a buyer's consultation like this. You know, we're using Zoom calling and conference calling right now every day. I know you were on the call the other day, so why not use that for your clients? You know, here's a smart idea. We're doing this today. We're doing a quarantine happy hour, right? And people right now are stuck at home, so they're craving social time more than anybody else. So we set up a recurring Zoom link for quarantine happy hour, and it starts today. It'll be at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll send you the link so you can post it. I'll post it in the comments below, and there can be up to 100 people in there. And all we're doing is just having a grand old time. Everybody's in the comfort of their home. I don't drink, but I'll be having some coffee to have my second round for the day and get going. But you know, it's a great time to put community together. I mean, I won't be on every single happy hour call, but I can guarantee you that there will be people on that call because it's recurring. Another thought is we're doing like a morning brunch at 10 a.m. So we're doing quarantine brunch, and it's a Zoom call again to be able to do that. And now I'm taking it even further, and so this is something you guys can look into. Jackbox Games is a online gaming service where you can play on your phones across multiple devices. So I'm working on setting up like a game night, right? Where this screen that everyone's watching right now that you and I are on will show like the main front of the Jackbox game, and then the rest of it can be played on their phone. So it's basically game night with a ton of your friends, and you're the life of the party online, right? I mean, strange times call for strange methods, and it's not that I'm any more in tune with technology than anybody else. I'm just like, okay, well, how would a game night actually work, and how would you get it done? And so it's really interesting because I looked it up, and people immediately had videos on for $89, $10 per month for the app. Okay, cool. So people are already downloading Astrum and using it. So I got to tell you that that, you know, if you Google some stuff like how to play games virtually with your friends across platforms, it'll tell you how to do it. Because I didn't know how to do it. I just Googled it, and immediately it came up with this is how you do it on Zoom, like just how we were screen sharing earlier with this. So basically, I would buy Jackbox, and I'll pull it up here too just to show everybody Jackbox Games, because you guys got to realize that right now you guys can be a point of authority just from social media. So let me go ahead and share the screen so people can see what I'm doing right now. As I Google it, Jackbox Games. So basically what I did was I just Googled Jackbox Games for 100 players, because obviously, you know, you're probably going to have quite a few people on here. So what I do is you can just go on here on Jackbox Games. This is their website. I don't have an affiliate with them. It's just, you know, I think it's a great service. So on here, they have party packs, and they have the PC version. So you could buy the most latest party pack, the Party Pack 6, and buy it here for Windows, right? And then they'll actually teach you on how to Zoom, let's see, Zoom, what is it? Gaming, Jackbox, gaming on Zoom. So when you Google that, there's actually YouTube videos on how to do it, and all you do is you just set it up on there. You can share the screen and move from there, and you instantly are creating game night virtually online with your friends.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
I'm telling you, this time has a lot of people cooped up. Start Googling stuff and start seeing what you guys can do to be either a point of authority as an agent, or just, you know, the life of the party. There's so many things that you could be doing for people. We pay for our Zoom Pro account. So what we did was we actually opened up our Zoom Pro account to our database, and we've said things such as like, hey, if you guys want to have a conference call or you guys need to do work and you need a Zoom account, let us know. And then what we do is they just tell us the day and time of when they need the conference call, and we set it up and we schedule it. We're not even on the call. They just get to use it because we're already paying for it. So, I mean, we're not using Zoom 24/7, so people can go ahead and kind of utilize that on a major scale. So the biggest things is social media, being on Facebook, posting 3-4 times a day. I'd recommend to people maybe learn TikTok. You know, my wife is going viral on TikTok right now. She's going to crack 15,000 views, and she's not even in the video. It's just a funny Pinterest fail recipe. And this was something that I thought was hysterical. And now people are thinking the same thing. So learn some new stuff in the process for social media. Google stuff. TikTok is something that I think is a great resource. Don't overboard it. I see a lot of real estate agents on there really trying to push their real estate stuff on there, and it's not working. TikTok is meant for
right? People want human connection. Forget all that just pushing business right now.
Yep. So TikTok is meant for people dancing trends and choreographed dancing trends and for funny videos. We fit into the funny video category. And so that's kind of the route that we're taking. We're just doing funny stuff. People will then look you up afterwards. One thing that you'll see is like when I jumped in here, it'll say at the Dan Rojas. So I have everything at the Dan Rojas. You look up Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, you punch in at the Dan Rojas, all my stuff comes up. And the reason for that is because when I go in if I go on one social media platform, I want them to be able to find me anywhere.
All over the place, right?
Correct. And so on TikTok, naturally, people are going to see at the Dan Rojas. If they just look me up real quick, they're going to find several different things about me. They're going to find my Instagram, my Facebook business page. Like it's all set up as one. And that's kind of part of the branding thing that everyone needs to be paying attention to is you got to grab something and run with it. I've had the Dan Rojas at gmail.com for over a decade. I dubbed that a long time ago, and I've used that for everything. It's simple. It's easy for me to remember. And it's kind of like the future of technology. So or branding, I'm sorry, not technology, but it's something that I think that people can really relate to when it comes to being able to find people easily. Like even my gamer tag is the Dan Rojas. I had some kids, we were playing Call of Duty, and they were like, oh, we wonder what Dan looks like in real life. And one of the kids in the party chat was just like, he figured it out. So he went and typed in at the Dan Rojas on Google, and my Instagram popped up, and he started saying, he was like, oh my gosh, you're a realtor. And he saw my videos and all this other stuff. And it was just comical because they were able to do exactly what I was hoping, was being able to find me on any social media. So that's kind of like a secret tip there. And the last thing, go ahead. I'm sure you got.
There was some changes, right? We were talking about the changes in that last podcast you had.
Okay, so lending changes. So because there's 3.6 million people in climbing with unemployment right now with this whole situation, a lot of people are claiming forbearance, right? And they're not paying their mortgage. Here's how that works. The company that you directly are borrowing from has a line of credit with either the government or another lender, right? So they're filling up these lines of credit. So we are borrowing on a borrower, right?
Yes.
These government-backed loans, some of them, the riskier ones with the ability to lend for lower credit scores, are disappearing. Yesterday, it was announced that Ginnie Mae and a few other government-backed loans backing out of the market altogether. So what does that mean? That means the restrictions are getting tighter, because here's what happens when somebody goes into forbearance. So when somebody stops paying their mortgage because of forbearance, the direct lender that they are borrowing from still has to pay the other line of credit every month. They have to pay on the principal, the taxes, and insurance. So they still have to foot that bill, which they are not prepared to do. So because of that, a lot of people are saying, we're done lending right now. So what's going to happen with that is the following, and this needs to happen. This is how you prevent a market crash. This is how you prevent what happened in 2007 to 2010, right? So what they're doing is they're backing out, they're not lending. So down payment assistance, expect that to disappear. Anybody with a credit score under 620 right now, they're saying double check their numbers, double check with your lender, because right now what's going to happen is that they are not going to get approved. All night last night, we kept seeing on different forums, listing agents pissed off. They're like, oh, we got to closing day and they weren't approved, and this is ridiculous. We need to switch them to a lender. And I'm like, listen, honey, you can't switch to a different lender. It's not that. It's the product that they're using that no longer exists. It's not being funded anymore. So what I would say is this, is that if you're working with a buyer and their credit score is at 620 or below, you need to double check with their lender. You need to say, hey, are we actually going to be able to pull this off with this product? And does this product still exist? Because
a lot of first-time home buyers and stuff as well, right?
It's going to be mostly first-time home buyers, to be quite honest. It's going to completely affect them. Not everybody, but for the most part, like unless their credit score is 700 or above as a first-time home buyer and they're going the conventional route and they have enough funds, like it will affect them 100%. What's that going to say for the market is that as a listing agent, you need to be really paying attention to those pre-approvals and pre-qualification letters. Yeah. You need to be calling that lender. You cannot legally, by the way, you cannot legally ask them what the buyer's credit score is at. However, you can say things like, what did you do to qualify this person? And if they just said, oh, they filled out an application. Well, did you verify the info on the application? No. Okay. Well, then you need to let your seller know and make them aware that, hey, this is what's going on in the lending market right now. So this is going to affect us. And on top of that, I don't think this person is really truly approved. Yeah. You need to be protecting your sellers, because the last thing you want to do is take a home off the market for 30 days just to find out that they're not approved because of these changes that are occurring. And as a buyer, if they're shaky on their credit, and they don't have enough funds, I hate to say it, but they might actually need to hold off on that. I really think they do. I've got some buyers right now that are just like, we're on hold, and that's okay. Our job isn't to pressure anybody into buying a home. Our job is to guide them. And so if they're not ready right now,
right information, right content, right timing.
That's it. You are a news media outlet for the right information is what we are. And we're problem solvers and detectives. We have a slew of things, or we're even real estate therapists at some point. But you guys got to be cautious of that, because there's a lot going on right now and changes. Get with your local lender and see what's going on, because they're about to see some stuff that's never been seen before, and they're not even able to lock in rates right now. It's so volatile. The other day it went up to 5% as rates. Now it's back down to like 3.6, 3.8. But that also varies on these products too, because the products that are giving those types of rates are the ones that are disappearing right now. Yeah. So be careful with that. Double check with your lender, because I think that's something huge. I think that's something that
it's gonna get a little tighter before it gets better, right?
Yeah, and it's not a bad thing. It's just that, like, if you've got somebody, like I said earlier, that's on that borderline for their credit score, maybe they do need to wait. I'm telling you right now, more than likely they need to kind of hold off and take a breather,
right?
Yeah, get that score up, save a few more funds, and honestly, just hold it out, just duke it out, and just wait. As our jobs, we're trained to say, don't wait. Now is the time. Now is the time. Now is still the time. If you have great credit, I mean, rates are still amazing. If you're prepared. If you're not prepared, by all means, you just got to wait. Let's be honest. In this
business, right? This business is all about referrals. So if we're not giving the right information, right content to our clients, or a referral or spear, then we lose that trust, that confidence, and then that's all we have.
Yep. And so that's the biggest key right now, is those changes in lending are happening. They were announced yesterday to certain lenders. Actually, they announced it yesterday to all lenders, but not every lender is reading their email when it comes to updates and notifications. So I would truly say to everyone watching that, get with your lender, see what's going on with those programs that are disappearing. I know here in Florida, a quarter of the programs, half of the programs for new first-time home buyers are disappearing within the next week. So.
Dan, I do thank you a lot. Thank you so much for all your content, your information. I know this is, I'm going to use some of the stuff that you're telling me. So I've used this, the Facebook a lot, but the @Dan Rojas, I love that, that branding across the board.
Yep.
I think there's always something somebody could use and put into place. Great stuff. Thank you so much. And
my pleasure, man.
Make sure everybody follows you as well, because I know you're always giving content on a consistent basis. And then, we'll take it from there. Thanks a lot, friend.
Well, thanks for having me, brother. Take care.
Thank you, my friend.